Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Russell and I make videos about iRacing here on YouTube. We are back for some more action in IMSA Season 1 2021. It's the penultimate week and we are at Spa. If you want to try out the setup for the BMW M8 and race and practice against my ghost cars, then you can find them in the link in the description below. If you end up having a really good race here this week, please do hit like and drop a comment below and let me know. Always keen to hear how you guys are getting on. I think that about wraps it up. So if I don't see you before in my next video, hopefully I'll see you out there on the track. Cheers guys. Okay guys, here we go with my 212.152 here at Spa. The track temperature is 24. We're using race fuel. Don't forget it's a longer race, so there's a bit more fuel this week. Now, we're looking to this patch of dirt on the track here. Just as it comes to an end, right before the 100 board, we're going to hit the brakes, brake really heavily in a straight line, in line with the white line on the left-hand side here. So if we just move forward, here comes the brake. So just as I'm about to leave the patch here. Now we're going to brake super heavy. And then as soon as we're down to first gear and we're approaching this next patch of dirt, we're going to start our turn in. And we're going to hold the brakes quite firmly. We're going to brake as much as we can without making the car behave badly under steering. And trail right into this apex, getting as close to the red and white curb on the inside as we dare. And then as soon as we're down in this little dip, the front of the car will catch quite a lot of grip and we can build into the accelerator really steadily and then get ourselves straight before we run out of exit. I could have used more curb on exit there. But that was perfectly fine. So we're just keeping the car to the inside, make the route as short as we can, and then we're gonna use all the curb on the left hand side here, including the beige overrun, and then right after we run out of curb, we're looking up to the right to the inside curb, right where this curb ends here. That's where we're going to start our turn in. and we need to try and get tight to the curb without taking too much curb. Now, if you go a bit late there, you are going to miss this corner by a country mile. Now you can take quite a lot of this curb as long as you don't take it too soon. So if we'd have come in late and been like half a car width over to the left now, we definitely would have got off track, maybe a slowdown. But because we positioned ourselves well, we can come over here on the second half of that corner, straight line it as much as we can and not getting off track. So as we approach the 100 board, we are going to brake just before the line, just before the curb starts. That's where we're going to start our braking. And what we want to do is get ourselves as wide over to the left as we can, come down to third gear, and then start our turning. And ultimately what we want to do is enter this curb right as the beige overrun starts. And we want to make use of that. It's going to help us around these next couple of corners. So we're down to third. We've pretty much finished our braking. We're into the accelerator just for a brief period, and then we're back out almost immediately because we need to keep the car over to the left-hand side ready for the next right-hand turn. So we're exiting right at the end of this curb here on the left, a super late exit. Bringing the car right over to the left, and then as soon as we're over, we're turning the car and then dipping out of the accelerator to make this next corner. So we've dipped out the gas, we dipped out a bit more just to get the car to turn in a bit more. We're using this curb again to the full extent and building up the accelerator as we approach the apex. So really tight right here, we need to brake before the curb. So we're almost a car length before the start of the curbing on the left here. And we want to come down to second, and we want to start kind of edging our way over to the inside relatively quickly. So full heavy braking. We're in second. We're dropping out of the brakes now, and we're keeping tight to the curb. And then we're in the accelerator when we know we've got plenty of room to play with. Now you can see by my trace that we built the accelerator ultra slow. Throw the car back over to the right. Just use a bit of the red curb here. As soon as you meet it, before these curb marks right in front of us, the tyre marks on the red and white curb, we're going to drop out of the accelerator. We're going to pad the brake, like literally 10% for a brief period of time, just to promote the car to turn into the inside curb. And then we're going to mount the curb. We're in the gas 50% as we're on the curb. And then we don't build up to 100% until we're off the curb and settled. Right, for this really fast sweeper, we want to get on this curb on the left, about halfway down. There's a relatively good tyre mark here, right in front of us to help guide us on braking. We're just going to drop down a gear, and then we're going to point the car right into the inside curb, and then as soon as this kind of larger patch of brown eaten into the grass on the inside curb starts up, we're going to be back in the gas relatively slowly, let it build, maintain as small a turning angle as you possibly can to stop the rears from spinning up, and then we want to throw ourselves back over to the left hand side of the track again, and this time we're going to brake just before the bridge, so like literally a couple of car lengths before the curb on the left. We're going to bring ourselves down to third. We've got quite a cool chicane this. If you can nail this, your lap times are gonna really come down. And the secret to this is a real nice late apex on this first right-hander, making sure we open ourselves up for the left. Here we go. So down to third. We've already started turning the car in. We're coming out of the throttle, and then as this extra bit of curb starts here, extra bit of sort of beige curbing on the right. As soon as that starts, we want to be out of out of the brake and into the accelerator super steadily, so we can exit right on the curb on the right hand side. We're right over the far right hand side of the track. We couldn't be further over. So we're in full gas for a little bit, and then we drop out and really swing the car in, pick up the inside curb including the beige. We've already started the accelerator right at the start of this extra beige curbing here, and we're going to let it build really gradually. We don't go up to 100% until we're off that curb, and then again we swing the car right over to the left. Now we need to be really quick here because we've got to start braking soon after this extra curbing starts. We want to use the full width of the track here, and we're going to drop down to third and trail out quite quickly to pick up the inside curb. Now I actually trailed out the brakes too quickly on this lap, somehow managed to get away with it. Ideally I'd want to pick up this inside curb, but I was just wide of it. But again, at the end of the extra beige curbing on the inside of the red and white curb, that's when we want to make sure we're already into the gas and we're building it nice and quickly. We're coming out relatively wide here, and then before the end of the curbing, just where there is a green splash of paint on the right hand side of the track there, that's when we want to start our turn in. Ideally we want to try and do this flat out. You may just need to dip out of the accelerator just to keep it on the track here. Tricky corner that. So we're going to build up the gas all the way up to 5th gear. We're just going to make this bit of track as short as we can. Over to the middle of the track now. Just tiny little steering inputs, but we want to end up on the far right hand side of the track here, and we're looking for a very prominent piece of tyre wear here right in front of us on the track, and it's literally like pointing us into the corner. Just follow its lead, take it round, make your initial steer in quite light, but then up it as you go. And then we're going to keep the car on the right hand side of the track here. A lot of people you'll see will just immediately go over to the left hand side. You're going to make the track a lot shorter here. You'll be able to brake diagonally into the last complex, and that will give you a lot more braking space without using more track. So let's watch that play out. So we want to brake, we're pointing the car diagonally out to the left, out to the outside of the track, and just as this kind of wash of dirt on the track starts here right in front of us, that's our cue to brake super heavily, full threshold braking all the way down to 1st gear. While I'm doing this, I've got my eye on the outside curb, how quickly that curb comes up. Get ourselves down into 1st, and then start our turn in and really start bleeding out of the brakes. We want to get rid of the brake quite quickly. So I'm already out of the brake here just as we're apexing the first part. And then I'm building the gas for a brief period, tapping the brakes just so the front tyres grip up. It's not slow down at all, just to promote the front of the car to sit down a bit and dig in. And then we're really swinging the car in and building up that gas nice and steadily on exit. You've really got to trust the downforce and the grip in the car there. And that draws to an end my 2-minute 12.152 here at Spa. As always, you can get my setup and ghost cars from the Discord. The link is in the description below. If you guys have got anything useful out of this, please do give the video a like. If you're not subscribed already, hit for that subscription and that little bell to get notified when I launch a new guide or live stream. Alright guys, best of luck. I hope you do really well. Let us know how you get on in the comments below, and I will see you next time for the last race week in this season.